All right, guys. All right, guys. Listen, I know everything's supposed to be all about the update, all about the new characters. We got Jewel, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, so on and so forth. And in World Boss Legend. Now, I did do a couple videos. Actually, the last video was just, all about Mephisto. But certain things in this game, they have a shelf life. And, one of the areas that we have the shelf life is ABX. Right, you only can use certain characters on certain days, right? Well, certain characters with certain types and certain tags and so on and so forth. So this question's been on my mind for quite a bit lately because I heard some things. I heard some things around the channels, around the chats that Judgment is in fact better for Apocalypse than Rage, especially for ABX, or if anything, at least for ABX. And I had to put that to the test, and you better believe I did. And also, well, okay, first, before I say anything else, I'm going to put a timestamp on the screen for the folks that just want to see the ABX focus, because it's a big difference. It's a big difference. I'm going to put the timestamp on the screen if you just want to skip ahead to that, because I'm taking them into Knull and I'm taking them into Mephisto. They're short runs, because I already went ahead. I went ahead and I got runs recorded with Rage for Apocalypse, and I already swapped it for Judgment. So I got these runs recorded with Rage, and I'm going in live to do the Judgment. So I don't even know what the difference is going to be for Knull or for Mephisto. I always pre-record the ABX stuff just because, like, it could be a process sometimes, but I have no idea what's going to be the outcome for World Boss Legend. And this is going to tell us a couple things. This is going to tell us a couple things for World Boss Legend. If the same rules apply that apply for Knull are going to apply for Mephisto as well. If his clear time is like that much greater for Mephisto, then I think we can, we can start to speculate and start to get an idea that, maybe the same rules apply, that apply to Knull, apply to Mephisto. So I'm very curious about this. If that is the case, in fact, it doesn't 100% necessarily mean that. We'll have to do more testing to get the answer for sure, to get the general idea. You can't just base it off of one subject, right? So we're gonna jump in this because I want this video to be rather on the shorter side, because it is kind of ABX focused a little bit. It's got some ABX stuff in it. So I'm gonna play my Knull run, and then I'm gonna go in live. So I'm gonna do my Knull run going live, and then play Mephisto run going live, and then I'm gonna play my ABX runs for you guys. So let me cue this up here. All right, and here we go. This is Apocalypse Stage 14 for Knull. I don't think it really matters so much, like the team up I give them, or the strikers even, as long as the same parameters are being tested from one to the next. Now, his rotation, I actually tried a couple different things. I'm going to try to use maybe the same rotation. See, the thing is this, Judgment and Rage, the rotation kind of switches a little bit because the proc is so much more consistent with Judgment. That's one of the benefits of being able to use Judgment. That is one of the benefits. So using the same rotation, so if one rotation is better with Rage and the other is better with Judgment, you kind of want to use what's best for each. So I did. So this is better. This rotation is not best for ABX, in my opinion, from what I've done with the Rage. But for Knull World Boss Legend, this is going to be the best rotation from my testing, anyways, in my humble opinion. So it's not too long. I believe this just only takes them another 30 seconds. But I want you guys to see, because if you have the option to, maybe you want to, a Rage you have on Apocalypse, you want to put on another character, because you're running low on them, but you have other Judgments. This could be a thing for you. This could be something that you could actually do to free up another Rage and to make Apocalypse better in the meantime, right? To get the most out of your character, the most bang for your buck. All right, so there was at 327 for Apocalypse there. Now let's cue this up live. Here we go. The same parameters we're going to test, and we're actually going to use the same rotation. So it seems like you don't, for World Boss anyways, well, for World Boss Legend, for Null in particular, you don't want to switch the rotation up. You want to keep it, the same. You want to do like, you want to try to fit as much as the tier 3 into the proc as possible. For ABX, that's just not the case. So you want to do 3, you want to basically cancel 3 right away, and then, you know, 4, delay cancel, 2 or 5, and then 2, 2, 1. And then, you know, you kind of want to get that, you want to get the tier 3 into the proc as much of it as you actually can. I'm having a difficult time speaking right now. But that's what you want to do. You see the rotation. 3, 4, 5, 2, 1. 3, 4, 5, 2, 1. And then you can cancel 5 as soon as you see the red X. As soon as you see the red X, you can cancel 5. But you can see he's actually getting through this rather quickly. I wonder if he could actually be decent. Can he be decent? So 405. His rage time was 327. So that's a pretty massive increase. That's over, you know, I mean, you could probably, you know, get 40 seconds. You could probably get a 40-second increase just from that swap, and that seems to be, you know, where it tends to be. That's usually where it falls. It's like a 40-second increase on the characters that I swap rage off of to either judgment or energy. And for those who are new to the channel, let me give the disclaimer right now before I forget. So disclaimer is, I do have a lot of Pierce on cards. I have 22% Pierce. And, you know, speculation is that it's kind of doing some of the work that Rage is doing, and or it's buffing chain hit damage. So that's where the parameters are set here. Okay, now I'm gonna play. Or actually, before I do anything else, let me just show you. So one thing that I noticed that when I swap Rage for Judgment is because thing is this. Apocalypse, he does not get the crit rate buff. He gets all attack, all defense. He gets 6% to speed, but he doesn't get any crit rate. He doesn't get any crit rate or crit damage. So you know, you have crit rate on a you can get about 30% crit rate on a rage, and this, it just has all attack and chain it, so it does nothing for his stats. So I'm actually not even capped on crit rate or crit damage. And the thing is this, I can't even give him any more on Azura. I have all crit rate Odin's Blessings on all 4 gears, and I have all 4 crit damage Odin's Blessings. The only thing I could actually do is I could swap his ISO 8 set. It wouldn't do anything for the crit rate, but for the crit damage, I could actually cap that off if I gave him like Hawk's Eye or Overdrive. I could do something like that if I wanted to, but I'm not going to go to those links right now. It would increase, you know, his ABX score a little bit, and probably make his run a little bit better. But all right, let's pull up this Mephisto run, and let's see if I'm excited because I haven't done this yet. I have no idea what to expect. I have absolutely no idea. So I want to see if we're gonna see a massive increase or spike. I kind of hope we don't. Because I want Rage to be good, right? I want it to be at least for Mephisto. So let's find out, guys. All right, here we go. This is Apocalypse Rage Mephisto run. And I'm using the same rotation that I did for Null. You'll see the only time the rotation changes is for the ABX runs. But this so this is stage 5, and I gave him double support. And I did that, you know, I went down to stage 5 because, you know, he's a combat character, right? So, and I gave him the double support for that reason as well. You know, he has a type disadvantage, but, you know, he's getting through this all right. He's actually not having, you know, too much trouble. He's getting through this pretty quickly. Not too shabby. I'm very anxious. I'm very anxious to see what the difference is going to be with the Judgment. This is I I don't know if anybody else has tested this. As far as I know, nobody has tested this yet. Nobody has tested this. So this is groundbreaking news. Now you see we kind of got jacked up there, there a little bit. I just let it ride. I wasn't looking for the perfect run. I would imagine something like that's probably going to happen during the judgment run as well. And if it doesn't, then oh well. What is it? A few seconds maybe. Yeah, the tier 3 was a little off proc, so it maybe a little more than a few seconds, but we'll be able to know. We'll be able to tell what's going on for sure. So yeah, here's a stopgap where you can't really I've tried attacking during this phase and it's really difficult. Only if he's kind of about to die, you'd actually want to do that. That would be a smart thing to do. All right, he's almost there. Man, he does not want to die. See, I attack anyway. See, if he's about to die, you can attack. Otherwise, if you don't get all those things, if you don't get all the numbers, you're dead meat. You're dead meat, friend. All right, let's jump into this live now. So 3:03 was his time, and we're running the same exact stage, the same exact team up, and the same exact strikers. 3:03 was his time. By the way, Apocalypse, he has ignore dodge for 50%, and that's another thing that we have to investigate as well, is if ignore dodge is going to be a preferable thing to actually put on as a lead, and if that's going to be king as well, right? Ignore dodge, like how it is for Knull, how it applies for him, how you want to have Knull has a high dodge, if it's the same way with Mephisto. But in any case, let's rock and roll. I really won't be able to tell if what's going on if that's the case until like the very end. What's going on? I get frozen there? Oh, he got clipped. He got clipped. Where's my proc? There's my proc. Wow. I don't know. It kind of looks like it. Can't go back into my rotation here. Don't get messed up. Yeah, it kind of seems that way. I mean, if you ask me. I'm not going to hit tier 3 right now. I don't know, though. I really don't know. I haven't played this enough to really be able to tell. But those bars are flying. Oh, my goodness gracious. Can we kill him here? I think we got him. 4:05. Dude, a whole minute faster. A minute and 2 seconds faster. A whole minute and 2 seconds faster. That's insane. That is insane, guys. If you ask me, it might even apply more. It might apply even more. The chain hit and whatever the heck Pierce is doing with rage, it might even apply more. Right? For those who don't know about the Pierce and rage, I made a whole video talking about it. Actually, I made a couple videos, a lot of videos doing testing and basically discussing that whole topic. So I'm not going to go too far into the depths of it now, but if you don't know, comment and somebody will break it down for you. But wow, that's crazy. I was really hoping that wasn't going to be the case, but man, I'm speechless. A minute and 2 seconds faster. So, again, energy I can't say for certain about energy yet. I can't say for certain. Some of that could be that judgment is just better for Apocalypse. Maybe it's just better, period, right, in general, with or without Pierce. Because I believe people were putting judgment on Apocalypse before, for ABX, because Pierce really has no effect in ABX. Some people are speculating that Pierce has some effect after 7 million. There's some speculation on that, and I can't really speak to that, but I can tell you that when I was charging up the beatdown on Moonstone's, Brilliant, and then when I wasn't, there wasn't any difference in damage, right? Because you get Pierce on beatdown right here. Let's go to Moonstone. So you get Pierce on beatdown. You charge that up, you get an additional 8% Pierce. And when I was charging up and when I wasn't getting any. But I didn't test that. It was just basically the first rotation. I did not test it after 7 million. So people are speculating that Pierce might have an effect after 7 million. I can't say for certain whether it is or it isn't. But I can say that it seems like this, at least for Judgment in this case, that it's going to be better for Null or for Mephisto. It looks like it's definitely the case for Apocalypse. Now, we got to test this on more characters to be sure, and we're going to do the same thing with Energy as well. We do the same thing with Energy and probably even testing out the beatdown on Energy, right? Like Iron Fist right now, he has all attack on his Mighty Energy. So if we go ahead and like I have a Mighty Energy with 6% beatdown, so I'll probably in an upcoming video swap this energy for that energy and see if it's actually working a lot better, especially for Mephisto, and we can do it for Null as well, right? Do it for both. I think it's good now that we have 2 world bosses and we could see kind of what's going on between each one. Hopefully we can connect more dots the more testing we actually do. But that's something to be said, if you ask me. I think that's some pretty big news there. All right, now let's jump into these ABX runs. So I have both of these pre-recorded, as a matter of fact. So let me pull up the Rage. I'm gonna pull up the Rage first, and then the Judgment after. Guys, I'm seriously, I'm speechless. I seriously cannot believe how much of a difference that was for Mephisto. That's honestly, that's insane. That's insane. I'm anxious to do more testing. I want you guys to let me know who and what and where you want. Well, Mephisto, of course, but what you want tested specifically. If you have some suggestions. Okay, so the rotation I'm using. Let me explain this. So. I'm using 5, and I think this is the best rotation. You'll see my Judgment. I scored almost 9 million with Judgment. So 5, you cancel as soon as you see the X, the red X, and then you go into 4 when the bubble pops down. Then 3, and then 2 and 1. And you kind of cancel 2 in from 3 to 2 and 1, kind of. Not necessarily arbitrarily, but you don't want to reactivate the proc on 1, so you kind of want to cancel with enough time where it's not going to at the end of 1 where he shoots the beam, it's not going to reactivate it, and then it's 5, 4, 3, and so it's the same deal, 5, 4, 3, and then you're going to hit the tier 3 when there's 2 seconds left on the proc, and then you want to reactivate the proc. With 5, because there's that big boulder from the tier 3 that comes down, and there's all the fire and whatnot. There's a lot of damage there, and you want that to reactivate the proc. And I started doing something a little bit different with Judgment, just because there's a little more flexibility with the proc. Actually, like the proc is pretty much, it's way more consistent with Judgment, and it's just a slight difference. And I'll explain that once we get that run up there. Here, I'll play this from the beginning here, just so we play the whole run through. So yeah, see 5, cancel into 4, 3, and then here I'm using 2 and 1 like before the 5, like right before the 5. I'm doing a little bit different with the Judgment, and I think it's better the way I'm doing it with Judgment, and you'll see, but it's basically the same rotation. I'm just canceling those just to charge up the tier 3 here. And yeah, then right here, you want to reactivate it for that boulder to come down. You want to get all that damage there. That's essentially what you want, because there's big damage there. But I kind of just started using this one, so the rotation with the Judgment, it's a little bit smoother, just because I've had a couple more runs in with it, and because the proc's more consistent. But preferably, yeah, you want to hit the proc when there's 2 seconds left on it. So yeah, you see there, it didn't reactivate, right? The proc did not reactivate, and that's one of the big downsides with Judgment, or with Rage, and that's one of the reasons that makes Judgment even better, because of the consistency with the proc. And he's, obviously he's got the silence on his 4, and you can kind of do something like this, where actually it didn't happen there, but you can kind of, so when he goes into his iframe, he cancels your, like, you just come out of your animation. Well, if you're in a certain section of his tier 3 animation, you can kind of bypass that, and you can come back down on the other side, 5 into 4, and still get the roar cancel if it's timed out. If it kind of just works out that way. A lot of times, like, it doesn't. I wouldn't necessarily plan to work it out that way, just because. But yeah, you see, like, procs late. Now I got to hold the tier 3, and it just kind of messes up the rotation. And I think, like, I had to hit 5 even a little late, right? So here I waited. I probably could have hit a couple skills, in the meantime there, but just to keep the proc where it needs to be, and for everything to just stay right, I didn't. But I mean, it's not a bad score with Rage, but you're gonna see the increase with Judgment. And I'll explain to you the little difference in the rotation, and I think it's the best rotation to use for Apocalypse. So 8.63 million with Rage. Let's pull up this Judgment run, and you're gonna be shocked, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go, Apocalypse with Judgment. This is the run to see. This is the run to see. So basically, yeah, same thing. I'm just kind of using 2 and 1 a little bit. All right, so when I hit tier 3, I didn't do it here, but what I'm doing is after 3, I'm hitting 2, 1, and then tier 3. You'll see it. I think throughout the rest of the run, I do it, or at least for the most part, I do it. And then here I hit 2, 1, and then tier 3. So that's basically the only difference there. And I'm hitting 2 and 1 a little bit sooner than I was with the Rage, I'll say. Just like a split second sooner, nothing major. But here I could have attacked. I could have at least hit like the 5 into the 3, 2, 1, left the 4 alone. I could have done something like that just to rack up a little more damage, because he went into the roar just a couple seconds later, and that would have given me the opportunity to do that. But I mean, I guess even with Judgment, Proc's come a little late. So Proc came a little late, and then you kind of want to wait until Apocalypse like lands on the ground to hit 5. You kind of want to do that. I noticed the damage is just like a little bit better. So yeah, I see 2, 1 after the 3. And then when he falls and you hit the 5, you want all that damage on the end of the tier 3. I'll tell you that much. You definitely want that. So here, yeah, I guess this works out. We're kind of late. We're kind of far into the proc when we're hitting the skills there, but it works out. It works out fine. I got a pretty darn good score, so I'm guessing I was doing something right. And I'm sure I could probably even go a little, a bit higher than where I ended up on this run here. Because this was only my second Judgment run. In my first Judgment run, I even had an increase from my best Rage run. So that's got to say something. So here, I just hit the 5. I leave the 4 alone because he's going to the roar, and if I would have hit it, not sure if I would have had enough time on it. That would have been very close, because there's that 8-second cooldown on the... now here I messed up. I didn't... actually, no, I don't think I did. I don't think I could have had the tier 3 ready because I didn't hit the 4 in the last rotation. I don't know, maybe if I hit the 2-in-1 more times, possibly. But yeah, we're already at almost 8.8 here. We're approaching 8.9. Do we hit 8.9? We hit 8.9. We hit 8.94. 8.94. So you see, the 8.7, that was my very first judgment run after I swapped it, and then this was my second judgment run. I think not too shabby, going up from 8.63. So before reset, running with rage, I got to about 8.69 after a bunch of runs. And that was after 2 runs with the judgment. And like I said, there's not like a whole lot difference, but you know, just the consistency with the procs, it does change some things up a little bit. So there's some things you kind of have to catch on to and get used to. But yeah, for anybody who's struggling with Apocalypse, first of all, judgment is definitely better, and I would definitely use that rotation. I know there's other rotations thrown out there, right? The one I was using for World Boss, I think guys in my alliance use that for ABX, and I just think this is better. So that's what I would switch to if you're interested in hiking that score up. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. So I think we learned quite a bit today. Well, first of all, Apocalypse, at least for me on my account. Well, okay, Apocalypse for ABX, he's definitely better with judgment, no matter what your account is, no matter if you have Pierce or not. And on my account, he's much better for Null, and then he is much better for Mephisto. And it seems like the same rules apply, and even on a more exaggerated level. I don't want to put that in stone yet. That's just the way it seems from testing with Apocalypse. That was the very first one done though, and we can't really come to a good speculation, a good conclusion until we do more testing. And we got to do it with energy, judgment. I even want to do with obelisks in between, because I was able to match Cable's time that I clocked with a rage. Now going back to Null. Cable's time with a rage with a regular proc obelisk, and I was very close with Thor as well. Thor with the if you remember the Thor video, he has judgment on now. Yeah, I did not use that uniform. I used this uniform here. And the thing is, this Thor doesn't have a whole lot of, like Cable has. He's got what, 30% chain hit on his uniform. Thor has, I believe, just 10%. I think it's on his uniform as well. So I mean, like, is that attributed to chain hit? But I don't know. It's a convoluted area and a convoluted topic, just because there's so many unknown factors. But with the lightning damage proc, I was like 5 seconds, or like 4 or 5 seconds behind than I was with a rage for Thor. So that's got to say something. So we're gonna do this. So other characters that I've been meaning to test out, like Black Bolt. Who else we're gonna test out? Storm. So Black Bolt, Storm, Professor X, right? Namor with judgment, and we could swap obelisks in between. I have a bunch of like 180, 200 proc obelisks just sitting in my inventory. Spider Woman. We got to test her out as well. So there's a lot of testing to get to, and also I'm almost have her potential. So we'll be awakening all the characters. We'll be awakening her and Luke Cage, and I'm really anxious to see what kind of team combo power ups we can formulate with the defenders. I'm anxious to see that, some like AC action, maybe some timeline. I can't really do it in Alliance Tournament just because, first of all, I had to set my team already, and I don't think my Alliance mates would actually like that. And in Icarus, so guys, I want to know, because I got his potential, do you want me to take him to level 70 and see what he can do? I think the only thing worthwhile at this point would actually just be timeline, right? Because you can't take him to Null, any World Boss Legend or Danger Room Extreme even. So, but let me know what you think guys, I want to know what you think about the Mephisto, the Mephisto difference between the Rage and the Judgment, and what you're looking forward to seeing next. So guys, there it is, and it was a doozy. So, ladies and gentlemen, you better stay tuned, you stay breezy, but most of all, friend, you stay safe out there now. Peace.